Hi everyone, welcome. Today I'll be showing you a tutorial on how to do Gyaru hairstyle. I'm also going to be showing you how I dye certain parts of the wig. I'll only be doing the top portion today. It's just going to be very simple highlights, but there's a few things that I wanted to show you. Hopefully it helps. It's easier on a person's head than it is doing it on a wig because the hair is actually facing outwards instead of just simply downwards. But here I'm showing you the few things that I'm using, and I'm starting off by sectioning off the hair and making sure that I'm only doing the top portion, so like half of it. The other half I'm not really gonna mess with. I do end up dyeing it, but it's not really important for this video. I'm misting the hair so that there's not much flyaways, and here I'm showing you that there's a smoother and a rougher side. I'm using the rougher side in hopes that it grips my foil a lot better. It's just for more control. Always, the more control you have, the easier your job will be. And here I'm showing you how I section off the highlights. This is a simple way on how to measure instead of just guessing that the highlights are all the exact same. I like to keep it neat so that I know where the highlights are going to fall, and that's how I just end up measuring it. So I'm just putting the hair dye on directly, and I'm showing you that, of course, to get in like the thicker portions of the hair strand, I go horizontally as well, vertically of course. Sometimes you could see it, sometimes you cannot see it, but almost always I'm misting the hair so that, yeah, there you go. I'm misting the hair so that there's more control and the hair doesn't go everywhere. When you have flyaways, you do get bleeding, and you want to avoid that, especially with highlights. It's a very meticulous thing to do, but I don't think it's that bad. So I'll just be folding that over just to make sure that the foil is out of the way. And instead of going directly after that foil, I'm going on the other side so that there's evenness in the hair and I guess evenness in color all over. Because when the highlights are done everywhere, sometimes some portions will look a little more highlighted than others, or I guess you could say color lights. But this is me just going in on the other side, measuring the same amount, trying to keep it neat, and I'm measuring with my comb again. This makes it so much easier for me. Sometimes if you want smaller highlights, I just go in with half of that measurement, and it works for me every single time. I'm just getting the middle portion here, and I'm misting it, so again, more control over the hair. If I have to put the hair down, I just twist it like that, and when I come back I can always just grab it from there instead of having to measure again and do the same thing all over again. So here I'll be showing you how to dye a strand of hair if, let's say, you don't have any bowls available. You're just gonna put the hair dye directly on top of the foil. I like using the board because it gives me more of a sturdiness, and it's I don't know, I just think it's easier to use. It's not necessary. Some people don't like using the board, but I do, and this is how I use it. Sometimes if, let's say, I'm using one color, I just go in and I use my hands, of course with gloves on to avoid staining my nails, but I go ahead and I just do that, and it, I don't have to use I don't have to wash a bowl. I just do that. So I was gonna leave this for the next day, and this is how I cover hair dye. if I can't put it back up in that tube up there. So I just cover it, because when hair dye dries out, it gets very hard and it's just a waste, and you gotta end up throwing it out. So here I'm gonna be doing a simple design. I don't know what people call it nowadays, but back in my days in, I guess, middle school, we used to call them coon tails, like referencing to raccoon's tails, but I think they changed the name. I don't know what to, but anyway, so I'll be making coon tails here, and I'm dabbing it on very lightly. You can't tell because of the speed, but I try to go very slowly at first, and then when I see that it's on the foil, like it's not moving anywhere, I go ahead and I just add more hair dye, and I spread the hair strand to try to get in there. Of course, do not fold your foil. Instead, place one on top, and then you can fold it. Here I'm doing a cheetah print design. Instead of going in with a Q-tip, I wanted to try the back of my hair comb, but I didn't end up liking it. It wasn't so saturated to begin with, so I was able to fix it, and you can see me here struggling with it, not doing this. I decided to keep it in the video to let you guys know that, you know, sometimes it's good to try things out even if you don't end up liking it. You can always fix it. You could just dye that strand dark. But yeah, when I'm doing cheetah print designs, I like to add little random dots, and of course you can also do that in case you do the little cheetah spot too big. I ended up correcting this. I have a video up on my Instagram showing you how I corrected it. It's really not much. I just go in with a Q-tip. I always go in with a Q-tip, but today I decided with a hair comb. I didn't end up liking it. So yeah, again, foil on top, and then you can fold it. Here's another way to do coon tails. I like this method better. So you're going to add the hair dye directly onto the hair strand, and you're going to be tugging that strand very roughly, and you also got to put the hair dye directly at the bottom. So instead of like putting it with the foil, I think this method is a lot easier, but this only works if the hair is not layered. If the hair is layered, you're gonna get hair everywhere and color bleeding, and it's just gonna look very messy. And I'm going in with the pink. Too bad this part was like this coontail streak was like hidden. I just wanted to show you guys this, but you can't really see it in the wig because I put it like kind of under the rest of the hair. So, but it's really pretty. You'll end up seeing it anyway. I think this method is a lot better. Like I said, it's just more it's less messy. The other one, I feel like the hair ends up going everywhere anyway. So again, you want to put the foil on top. The bottom portion, it was all just pink, so I ended up folding that. You want to make sure that your colors do not overlap as much, because you will get some of that color onto each other and it can look muddy. However, brown and pink are on the same side. They're both warm colors, so you don't really have to worry about that. Let's say you were doing a green and a pink. You need to be very careful, or else they can turn very muddy quickly. And so I had some leftover dye in here. I'm just adding it to the most random spots. I ended up just doing the bottom portion of the wig. It's a very small detail, but I wanted to keep adding color. You can see here how bad it was. So again, I ended up redoing it. That would have been fine, I think, but you can't really see the design quite well. And there's the wig, there's the highlights, color lights. And here I'll just be showing you how I curl the hair. I'll be using Pretty in a minute. I'm using the middle wand, and it is at 350. I never go up higher. I don't see a reason why I need to go up higher. There I'm comparing, and I'm showing you that there's 2 other sizes, but I'm using the middle one. Here I'll be showing you that when I curl the most bottom portion of the hair, I'm not going upwards. When I'm putting the wand, I'm putting it like I want to say like a very thick 1/4 away from the hair. I mean from the scalp. And that helps keep the bottom curls the longest. So again, away from the scalp as much as possible before it's like the mid shaft, if that makes sense. And I do not squeeze the curl because you will flatten the curl and you will not get a ribbon, but you will get more of like a beach wave. So it's 2 different curls, very slight difference, but it's different. I wanted to get ribbons, and I'm showing you that I'm taking very thick pieces of hair. Yeah, that's how thick I was grabbing them. Here I'm showing you that I combed out the bottom curls before they cooled off, and the top curls I combed them out the next day, and I hairsprayed them before I combed them out. So if you want a nicer ribbon that stays longer, let it cool and hairspray it before you comb it out. Here I'm just gonna be tying up the hair and getting it ready for the hairstyle, and I will be teasing the hair ever so slightly. I want to be careful because this hair is on a wig, meaning it has been processed. Yeah, you can see the coontail right there. Anyway, so I'm just teasing the hair ever so slightly. Notice that I'm staying like close to the scalp portion, and I'm hairspraying it, and I'm teasing here both sides of the hair strand, and I'm like flipping it over the opposite side of where I want it to fall to get the most volume from it. I'll show you here the difference between like getting it close to the scalp or teasing from like far away. The wig looked silly, and I just wanted to show you, and I thought it just looked so silly for no reason. It just reminded me of Julio. But yeah, anyway, so this top portion, so since this hair is more delicate, it's the hair that is on the lace part of the wig. The other part is the tracks, and that hair is a little more sturdier. It's not the hair itself, but it's how the hair is tied, if that makes sense. So here I'm showing you that I'm not doing it from all the way like towards the mid shaft, but more close to the root. And I'm only doing the back portion because this part I will be flipping it back when I tie up the hair. Now I'm just grabbing it to put it up in a ponytail. It's kind of hard to put wigs up in a ponytail because the hair is like moving with you instead of like against you, so you can get it like tighter. It's easier if I would have just like teased up the hair and did like a very big beehive, but I wanted to do a little ponytail. So here I am going with the smallest wand. That's the wand I was using earlier. Now I'm going with a smaller one. I'm not sure how, I don't know the size of it, but I'm just going in, filling in extra pieces that looked a little flat to me, and I'm making extra ribbons, of course. I straightened the front portion, and I'm curling out the very bottom of it, and I'm making sure that it doesn't look too flat. Gyaru is all about like volume and just, you know, crazy hair. yeah, I'm just using thick pieces, not really going any specific direction, by the way, so really it doesn't matter. If you want a neater, of course you can do it in one direction, but the most bottom curls, I did do them towards the front. And there you go, that's the complete tutorial. I ended up just styling the wig, and I added a few accessories, of course. The curls looked pretty. Just mixing the wand sizes just made it look amazing, and more natural curls too. Now, just a very quick thing, I wanted to show you how to get rid of the teasing. It looks like I'm yanking the hair, but I promise I'm not. I'm actually just separating sections that come off easily. So, I sprayed this with hairspray and I teased it like crazy. You literally just have to comb it from bottom to top. And you have to make sure you do it that way. If you go from top to bottom, you're going to tangle it even worse and make the knots tighter, which is not what you want. Again, you want to go ahead and separate the knots with your hand. The whole point is to separate them, just like that. And you can ever so slightly put your comb in it and just bring it outwards as if you're stabbing it in a way, and that gets rid of the knots very easily, and it gets the job done quickly too. You don't have to stay there for hours untangling hair. Yeah, and you want to make sure to go in with a rat tail comb to comb it through and make sure that there's no knots missing, because the teeth is a lot tighter together. It'll let you know if there's anything there that you forgot to comb out. And yeah, same thing on this side. You want to put your hand underneath so that you're not putting the comb all the way through the hair strand, if that makes sense, until the hair is untangled. You're gonna put your hand under it so that the bristles of the brush are barely tugging on it. It makes a huge difference. And there you go. The only time you really want to go in with your hairbrush or hair comb and put it all the way through is when your hair is untangled. If so, you're gonna make it worse. And of course, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you soon.